George Groves versus Martin Murray. The gloves are off. Sky Sports. This is not my review of the whole thing because I haven't actually seen the whole thing. I've only seen a snippet of it. So if anybody has the link to the entire Gloves Are Off episode, Groves and Murray, then please drop it in the comment section below or private message me and give it to me there because I really would like to see it. This video is about a particular section of this Gloves Are Off that I saw in which George Groves was feeling himself. Right? He was trying to get at Martin Murray. He was trying to get under his skin by saying that the Golovkin fight wasn't competitive, that he got beat from pillar to post. He had that old cocky George Groves swagger about him. But as soon as Martin Murray mentioned Carl Froch, all the color drained right out of George Groves' face, and he was left speechless. Now, this is the kind of Gloves Are Off face-off that I like to see. Guys who are really trying to get under each other's skin from a psychological point of view, a great psychological battle. That's what this looked like to me from the snippet of it that I've seen. It looked as though Martin Murray was a little bit pissed off by what Groves was saying about him in terms of the Golovkin fight. He was he was saying to Murray basically that the fight weren't competitive. You just got battered around the ring for 10, 11 rounds, whatever it was. Martin Murray seemed to take exception to that and say, no, I was actually having success in there. And Groves was like, no, I didn't see any success. And that's when Murray hit him with the Froch bomb. And Groves just shut up quick, boy. He got all... I don't know. Some people are saying he got shook when Martin Murray mentioned Froch. That really still is a touchy issue with George Groves. The Froch fight, particularly the first fight. And I'm guessing the second fight, he obviously didn't like the outcome of it. He got knocked out. But still, that first fight, the outcome with Howard Foster stopping it is something that still gets to George Groves. To me, George Groves is still not right. Psychologically, there's something not right there with him. Somebody had commented when I seen this video, this clip of the Gloves Are Off between Groves and Murray. Somebody had commented that Groves is far too emotionally invested in boxing, and that's actually a problem. Well, you have to be emotionally invested in boxing to some extent. You have to enjoy it. You have to want to do it. You have to have pride in it and all that type of stuff to be successful. But I kind of get what a guy was saying, that Groves takes a lot of this stuff that happens in boxing to heart. He really took that first Froch fight, or the outcome of that first Froch fight, to heart. He was very, very upset by it. And he can't seem to let it go. He can't seem to put it in context from a philosophical point of view in his mind. And he's still obsessed about it. And that's why as soon as Martin Murray touched on it, he got an instant reaction from Groves. He literally shut Groves up right there on the spot. So yeah, Groves is a very interesting character. In some ways, he's very mentally strong. He rebounds from defeats and continues to believe in himself and all that. But I don't know, there's just something odd about him. He's not quite all there, George Groves. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I'm talking about in the arena of boxing and the way his mind works within the sport. He's not quite all there. He doesn't seem to ever want to take blame for his own shortcomings and misgivings as a fighter. He always wants to try and blame everybody else and blame the circumstances and blame the referee. And sometimes it is outside factors which are to blame. But a lot of the other times it's he himself. The Badou Jack fight was a good example. He started blaming Paddy Fitzpatrick. Well, it was you in the ring, George. Paddy weren't out there throwing punches for you. It was you in the ring. Didn't you have a sense of what was going on in the ring yourself? Couldn't you communicate with Paddy? And if the things he was telling you were not accurate, couldn't you tell him, well, are you sure about that? Can't we do it this way or that way? I know some people don't like fighters answering back to their trainers, but it's not a situation where you need to answer back, but have a dialogue with your trainer. There's nothing wrong with having a dialogue. You're the one in there. You can see things sometimes even that your trainer can't see. Your trainer might be able to see things you can't see, but you can also see and feel things that he can't see and feel. So, I don't know. That's by the by, really. But my point being, from a psychological point of view, I think Groves is still not right. And will Martin Murray be able to exploit that? He was able to do it from what I saw in The Gloves Are Off from this clip. So maybe he'll be able to do it in the ring. Has Martin Murray fought better opposition than George Groves? It's close. Martin Murray has fought Golovkin, obviously. Sergio Martinez. Arthur Abraham. A few other guys. George Groves has fought Carl Froch. James DeGale, Badou Jack. They've both fought good opposition. And both of them have been coming up short. Groves sees himself as a whole different level than Martin Murray. I don't know why, though. If you look at Martin Murray's performance, for example, against Martinez, most people felt like he beat Martinez. His performance against Arthur Abraham, that was a close fight. His performance against Golovkin, yeah, he definitely got beat, definitively, and he did get beaten up in the end. But he managed to go a lot longer than anybody else. Golovkin and Groves have sparred. And Golovkin wasn't exactly that complimentary about Groves. He said he don't really have much power. And I think he said something like he hurt Groves in sparring and he had to take it easy on him. That's I'm not 100% sure if I'm accurate about that, but I remember covering the story at the time. And from recollection, that's what I can remember from memory. I'm not sure whether this belief that Groves has that he's a totally different level to Martin Murray is a misplaced belief, because Murray has fought pretty damn good opposition as well. And he's done well. Like I say, in the Martinez fight, particularly, he did well and he was competitive against Abraham. And if you look at their fights lately, Martin Murray still seems to have more of a sense of himself. He still seems to be with it mentally, despite the fact he's had these losses. Whereas Groves seems to have cracked mentally ever since that second Froch fight. He don't seem quite there. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Martin Murray won this fight against George Groves. Wouldn't be shocked in the slightest. If you had told me, or if you had taken the George Groves that fought Froch the first time, or pre-Carl Froch, I would take that version of George Groves to beat Martin Murray all day long. But I just haven't seen that version of George Groves for a long time. And this wounded, this mentally scarred version of Groves, I don't know, I think there's an opportunity there for Martin Murray to get the job done. Will I be picking Murray outright? Probably not. I'm probably still leaning towards Groves, but I see it as far more competitive right now than I would have done a couple years back. And I think The Gloves Are Off, from what I've seen of it, demonstrates perfectly why I see it as more competitive today than I would have done a couple of years ago. So let me know how you feel about it, people. As I say, have you seen the full episode of The Gloves Are Off? If you have the link, drop it in the comment section below, please. And yeah, what do you think about the psychological war going on here? What do you think about Groves' psychological makeup? Do you think it will matter in the fight? I think a lot of it depends on the success, personally. If Murray is having a lot of success, Groves is not the kind of guy to be quitting or anything like that. We know that about him. But if Murray is having success and he is landing shots, I think you will see the confidence leave George Groves pretty rapidly. Whereas if it's the other way around, I think Murray will be a bit more dogged, and the belief that he has in himself will stay around a bit longer than it would if it was Groves on the receiving end. That's what I see anyway in my mind's eye. That's what I can envisage. Maybe you feel different. Drop it all in the comment section below and let me know how you feel about everything I mentioned in this video. It's your boy Hatman, I'm out.